Breaking today, Prince Harry did get into a physical fight with his uncle Prince Andrew, and the pair of royal spares did row over Prince Andrew's warning regarding Meghan Markle.
So, the big headline everyone's talking about comes from a new book called The Rise and Fall of the House of York by Andrew Loney. And let me tell you, it's been like dropping a grenade into Buckingham Palace. According to Loney, way back in 2013, Prince Harry actually got into a physical fight with his uncle Prince Andrew. Yes, you heard that right. Harry, the spare, allegedly clocked the Queen's favorite son and left him with a bloody nose. It all supposedly started when Andrew made some less-than-kind comments about Meghan Markle. This was before Harry even married her, mind you. Andrew allegedly told Harry that Meghan was an opportunist, too old, and that the marriage wouldn't last a month.
That is the response from the author of the bombshell new bestseller entitled The Rise and Fall of the House of York to Prince Harry's threat to sue. And Andrew Loney, the man behind this bombshell new book, which has sent shockwaves through the British royal family, joins me here on Outspoken alongside our very own royal YouTube sensation, according to Taz. Okay, let me take you through this story in case you have missed it. Although that's probably pretty unlikely, because here was the front page of the Daily Mail earlier this week. Prince Andrew, his royal oafishness, sex-obsessed, vulgar, vile bedroom habits, and a Meghan bullying bombshell, all exposed in devastating book royals tried to ban. And then you'll see why Harry left him with a bloody nose. Now, this was an extraordinary encounter in 2013. But what was probably most fascinating is that Harry, a man who, by the way, never questioned that very odd-looking Michael Jackson wannabe Omid Scobie when he decided to reveal to the world that King Charles and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, were so-called racists, never ever denied that. But when it came to these allegations, he did release a statement to his favourite US tabloid People. Prince Harry denies physical fight with Prince Andrew and comments made about Meghan Markle in the explosive new book, with a spokesperson for the Duke of Sussex telling the magazine, "I can confirm neither of those things are true. Prince Harry and Prince Andrew have never had a physical fight, nor did Prince Andrew ever make those comments about the Duchess of Sussex to Prince Harry." But Andrew Loney says, not too fast. He isn't at all worried about this new legal threat. And I'll just take you through some of the, I guess, most shocking allegations in the book itself, which is available now. In January 2021, Andrew Loney writes, the royal family held a summit about Andrew, at which it was agreed there was no way back for him because of the reputational damage he was causing the monarchy and his, quote, ungracious and ungrateful attitude. Andrew's relationship with his nephews was also a problem. At a family gathering in 2013, Harry and Andrew had got into a heated argument and punches were thrown over something Andrew said behind Harry's back. According to a source close to both men, Harry told him he was a coward not to say it to his face. Harry got the better of Andrew by all accounts, leaving him with a bloody nose before the fight was broken up. Later, Andrew told Harry his marriage to Meghan Markle would not last more than a month and accused his nephew of going bonkers and not doing any due diligence into her past. He openly accused Meghan of being an opportunist and thought she was too old for Harry, adding that his nephew was making the biggest mistake ever. The source said Harry later told William he hated Andrew. According to the same source, the Duke's relationship with William is not much better. There have been tensions between the two men for years, partly occasioned by Andrew being rude about Kate. William refers to Andy as a, what was this word again? It starred out in the Daily Mail. Tosser! Daily Mail says you can't say tosser. Okay, well, I'll say tosser. Perhaps not as bad as the vile names his brother Harry uses. Harry has been referred to Andy as a poofter, an asshole, and a twit. William has long worked behind the scenes to evict his uncle from Royal Lodge, the home he occupies in Windsor Park. He thinks Andrew is abusing the property and his privilege there. The source says he also loathes Sarah, Andrew's ex-wife, and can't wait for the day when his father throws them both out. If Charles doesn't, I guarantee you the first thing William does when he becomes king is to get evicted. Wow. Absolute bombshell stuff, but certainly in some ways not a surprise.
So do I believe Harry punched Andrew? Honestly, yes. It fits his character. It fits the timeline. It fits his history of aggression. And it fits the way Andrew talks. His blunt, often offensive, and not exactly subtle. If anyone was going to provoke Harry into swinging, it would be Andrew. Do I think Harry will sue? No chance.
And Andrew, of course, is here with me alongside Tash today. Andrew, firstly, congratulations on the book. It is a bestseller. It has caused shockwaves all across the world, and it has also prompted this extraordinary on-the-record denial from Prince Harry. But you stand by your reporting. You've obviously spoken to well over 300 of the Duke of York's former friends, current friends, former classmates, staff members, courtiers, the full works. This is thoroughly researched. But can you just take us inside this altercation in 2013 and tell us exactly what you know about it?
Well, I mean, I'm surprised by the reaction. I mean, this is a paragraph that was just popped into the book, and none of us thought that would get this sort of reaction. But my source is very good and reliable. I mean, I trust them. And that's why I've been very happy to double down on it. I mean, this is just an attempt to intimidate me. You know, as in that well-known phrase, recollections may vary. And let's see, I'm very happy if he wants to pursue this action.
So you would feel confident in a court of law where you would be able to present evidence, presumably?
Well, I mean, the problem, you know, clearly writing about royal books is, and particularly with the source who comes from the royal household, it's going to be quite difficult. But yes, I'm pretty confident if it goes that far.
It feels like an empty threat to me. Is that how you feel?
Absolutely. The lawyers have marked it 2 out of 10.
Because we did, of course, hear from Valentine Lowe last week that there were lots of threats to him before publication in regards to the Meghan Markle bullying allegation, but then post-publication, crickets, not a word, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I've had lawyers' letters from the Duchess's lawyers even before the book was published, saying that they were warning me that they were watching my social media closely. I mean, that came months ago. So this is just an attempt to scare people, and I'm afraid it's not going to work.
Tash, when you look at Prince Harry's background, and I want to come to this in just one moment, I mean, everything about this story of him giving Prince Andrew a bloody nose, to me, rings true. I mean, this is a guy who has admitted himself huge violence towards bodyguards, security guards, people trying to look after him, who's admitted that he got into a physical fight with Prince William too. Do you believe it?
I do believe it. Harry has been hot-headed. I believe it was a former nanny that once spoke to a publication, I can't remember which one it was, but said that Harry was angry from birth. He's always had a hot temper on him. We've seen him fight with photographers. We've seen him try and fight with people outside of nightclubs in his youth, or rather he was being held back by his bodyguards. It always reminds me of the cartoons of let me at him, but he knows that he is obviously heavily protected. So the thought of Harry getting into an argument that quickly turned into fisticuffs with his uncle, it doesn't surprise me at all. And yes, I do believe it. Harry is, and he always will be, quick to temper. And obviously violence and fighting is not necessarily something he takes a step back for a moment. He does seem to get quite aggressive fairly quickly, but then he's always had the protection of his bodyguards around him.
Well, indeed. And some video re-emerged this week. And by the way, Andrew, if you do end up in court with Prince Harry, I think this could be very helpful to you circumstantially, at least. Tash, you pointed this out, actually. because it was the video when the Foo Fighters drummer, late great Taylor Hawkins, remembered the time Prince Harry assaulted him. And you wrote on this, Tash, Harry has always been a nasty piece of work. He slapped Taylor around the face, knowing that his security would let him get away with it and block any retaliation. Harry's been protected his whole life. That's why he's not a nice man. How many other stories have been buried? And look, I do remember covering this interview at the time, but watching it again in light of the revelations in Andrew's book was even more chilling, because Taylor Hawkins wasn't joking about that. It was very obviously assault. So Prince Harry is a physically violent man.
Yeah, I mean, to see that come up, Megan's Mulry shared it, and it's just shocking to hear this sort of behavior. This is a stranger that he's met, but someone who's famous. So can you imagine what Harry's been like behind the scenes for members of the public, people that maybe will never have a voice? How much stuff has actually been covered up? But then for him to be fighting Andrew, there was the thought of it at first when it came out. I think Shauna said it, that it was a bit of positive PR for Harry for a change, the thought of him punching Andrew in the face, because of obviously everything that Andrew's done. And they seem to be very much cut from the same cloth. I mean, you wouldn't really be rooting in a fight for either one of them. But yes, I mean, it does show that Harry is hot-headed, but I wonder which one of them really, whether Andrew got a few punches himself, really.
I mean, Andrew, sort of examples like that won't help Prince Harry's cause, will they?
Not unless he wants all his violent episodes dragged into open court. He knows better. This is one of those stories he'll deny publicly but quietly let fade away, hoping people move on. And as for Andrew's warning about Meghan, well, history kind of speaks for itself.
No, I mean, there's a long history of violence against people, well documented. And of course, there's a long history of him suing the Daily Mail. It's not just HarperCollins and me, it's the Daily Mail for carrying the Cyril. So certainly my lawyers don't seem worried at all. As Tasha said, I mean, there's no case of defamation to saying that you whacked Andrew. I mean, most of the comments on social media have been pretty positive. It's one of the few positive comments he's had recently.
Well, indeed. And weirdly, I felt this way about Andrew when it came to his conversation with Prince Harry, where he told the truth about Meghan. Because, I mean, look, you can look at this in a couple of ways, can't you, Andrew? But at the end of the day, a lot of members of the royal family were speaking behind Prince Harry's back about what a disaster Meghan Markle was going to be. And for all of his faults, and obviously there are many of them, and we will come to them, and yes, he has oafishness in large degree, probably during this conversation too. But isn't what Prince Andrew actually warned Harry about Meghan Markle correct? He hadn't done any due diligence into her past. She was an opportunist. I mean, the age thing, I don't necessarily agree with him on, but the fact is, I mean, very few people within the royal family, Andrew, would disagree with Prince Andrew that marrying Meghan was the biggest mistake Prince Harry ever made. So weirdly, I actually felt reading this part of the book, I was like, well, no, Andrew, you did the right thing here.
Well, I mean, in 2017, I was researching my book on the Mountbattens, and I spent a lot of time with people in royal circles, and they were very concerned, even at that stage, about Meghan Markle and her suitability. So it wouldn't surprise me that Andrew made these comments. He can be quite bossy, and he was tempted to be rather paternalistic, but because he's has a very direct manner, it could be misinterpreted. So, it all rings true to me. I mean, my source is as I say, has proved reliable on every other thing. The level of detail is pretty good that I got. And as I say, I'm not worried, and the lawyers are not worried.
No, and I mean, Tash, I think on Meghan, Andrew was correct.
Yes, I mean, there's a lot to be said. I think that Meghan's arrival into the royal family has been anything other than completely destructive and toxic. There were lots of people that tried to warn Harry, including childhood friends, and they since found themselves completely cut off. Tom Inskip, I mean, they were the bestest of friends. They were, always in some sort of trouble or partying together throughout their lives. They always had each other's backs. And then they were rudely not invited to the evening reception of the wedding because he dared to say, perhaps you should slow down. We know that Harry has fallen out with many people. So the fact that Andrew was that direct, I don't think he did anything wrong there. But I wouldn't be surprised. Andrew was going around with a black eye, I think, at one point, wasn't he, in 2017? Perhaps Harry decided to clock him one again.
Well, I can tell you the story on that if you want. In
Please.
2017,
really?
That was from a businessman to whom he owed some money.
Oh dear. Really? Gave him a black eye? Oh dear.
Whether you love her or hate her, Meghan's entry into the royal fold has been the single most disruptive event in recent royal history. Andrew might be disgraced, but on this one point, he might have called it right. So there you have it, a royal fistfight straight out of the tabloids, but one that feels all too believable given the characters involved. Harry's temper, Andrew's arrogance, Meghan at the center, William plotting in the background. It's like a Shakespeare play with better costumes. And if nothing else, it proves once again that behind the palace gates, the royals aren't some fairy tale family. They are messy, dramatic, and sometimes downright violent.